In the beginning of May or at the end of April, I posted to my Thread account asking for recommendations for Asian American or Asian authors that specifically write romance or romantasy. I feel like those are the type of books that I usually would pick up easier. And I got a lot of response, and I have discovered so many Asian authors that I've never heard of before. I'm gonna share some of these authors' books that I have purchased the past few weeks or so. I currently have 7 authors in front of me where I actually buy at least 2 of their books. I read from 4 authors, and I'm currently reading 1 author's book. And I also have 4 books from 4 different authors on the side that I'll talk about probably at the end. I'm gonna start with Axio first. This is her YA romance novel. I think they are technically standalone, but the characters on these 2 books kind of overlap. So the first book in this kind of like series or universe is XOXO. This one is about Jenny and Jae-woo. I've actually read this book in the beginning of May and I love it. If you are into kind of like K-pop, idol trainee, and boarding school in South Korea, this would be something I would pick up. And I actually love this book. I gave this a 5-star. At first, before I pick up this book, I thought I would be too old to read it because I'm obviously not in high school. These characters are high schoolers in South Korea. I feel like the characters' inner thoughts are a little bit more mature, and I just love the writing style, and I do enjoy the whole story and the plot and everything. And fun fact, Axio actually is a local Las Vegas author. She was actually at a Barnes & Noble near me, I think a few weeks ago, to do kind of like a signing event for one of her newer books. I couldn't make it, but I was able to get a signed copy of her book at that same Barnes & Noble like over the weekend because the event was on a weekday. But I would highly recommend this one when I do get to read ASAP. And one of her other books that I already purchased, I will let you know and keep you updated, so make sure to subscribe to my channel. The second author that I have is Helen Huang, and her book series, I'm not really sure what it's called, but it's these 3 books. First book is about Stella and Michael, and then the second book, which I think is this one, is about Kai and Esme. Kai is actually Michael's cousin, I believe. And then the third book is called The Heart Principle. It's about Kwan and Anna. Kwan is actually mentioned quite a lot in this book because Kwan and Michael are cousins, but they're also pretty close in age, so they kind of grew up together. I cannot wait to read the other 2 books, and I'm just curious about how Kai and Kwan's like love story going to unfold in this 2 books. I read the first book, which is The Kiss Quotient, I think just a couple weeks ago. I finished it. I do like it. I don't know what I would rate this book, but it's very enjoyable. And because the main female character Stella has Asperger's, I feel like when I imagine these 2 characters interact with each other, it's just very awkward. But just keep on reading and I think you will like this book. Alright, the next author that I'm gonna talk about is Julie Tu. I think that is how you say her last name. And she does write adult contemporary romance, I believe. In the beginning of May, I did read this book called The Girl Most Likely To. I have to say that I don't really love the setting of this book because the majority of the book takes place for just one night, which is the night of their 20-year high school reunion. If you are from the 626 area, like San Gabriel Valley area, you probably would love this book because it has so many places around that area that they mention in this book. And especially if you are kind of like an older millennial, you probably love it too because this has some type of like old school element about AOL and AIM, the AOL Instant Messenger, and also the fact that they still go to one of those internet cafe back in the day to play games or to be going into chat room and stuff like that. So it definitely brings back so many like memories. I think you will like this book if you are okay with the setting being just one night. I don't really like it, to be honest, but her writing style I do like, so I decided to pick up her other book called Circling Back to You. And this book's premise is actually pretty interesting because they are co-workers. I kind of love office romance as well, so I am hoping that this book setting is better than this one that I read in the beginning of the month. But let me know in the comment below if you have read this book, and if you have any other recommendations for Julie's books, because I know she has some other ones, but the one that I'm kind of interested in to read is this one right here. So I can't wait. Hopefully I'll be able to read it pretty soon. The next author that I have is Susan Lee. I have two of her books right here. This one is called The Romance Rivalry, which is her newest release. I believe it was released in the middle of May. And then this one is called Soulmates, like Seoul, the capital city of South Korea. So I read this one, I think in the beginning of May when I bought it. The two main characters are Korean Americans, and both of them just started college. I think the writing style is pretty good. I do like it. I just don't like how I think I feel a little bit too old reading this book. Most of the inner thoughts of the female main characters, her name is Irene, I believe, I feel like it's a bit too chaotic, and she's kind of questioning every single thing about herself and about her people in her life, like her parents, her friends, which is kind of understandable as an 18-year-old who just started college. So I feel like if you are younger, you might like this better than I do. I think this book is really cute. Each chapter is named after a trope. So you can see age gap romance, forced proximity, fake dating as like the name of the chapter. So I think if you're a fan of romance novel, you probably will like this one. I think it was just me who feel like I'm too old to read this book, but overall it's a pretty good read. So I'm hoping that with this second book that I have by Susan Lee, I would like it better. I think they are high schoolers as well. I haven't really spent enough time to actually read the back of the book or reviews and all of that, but this one also sounds interesting, so hopefully I will like this better than The Romance Rivalry. But overall, great writing style. I love it, and I can't wait to read this sometime soon, hopefully. The next author that I have is Roselle Lim, and I have 3 of her books. I'm pretty sure they are just kind of interconnected. You can probably read them however order you want, but I decided to read them from like oldest to newest. And so far, I feel like her book is a little bit more, I don't know, poetic. I think that's her writing style, in my opinion. I just read the first like 60 or so pages, I think. Yeah. I am reading Natalie Tan's Book of Luck and Fortune. I feel like if you are from San Francisco, you grew up in San Francisco Chinatown, you probably would like this book because that is the setting of this book. I have been to San Francisco a few times, and I'm pretty sure I've been through the Chinatown area a few times as well, and I can picture the buildings, the street that is described in this book, so I think that's a good thing. The other 2 books are Vanessa Yu's Magical Paris Tea Shop and Sophie Go's Lonely Hearts Club. And look at the style of the cover. It's just really cute. And the reason why I think this book is kind of in the same universe, but you can kind of read them separately, is because in this book that I'm reading, Vanessa's aunt, Evelyn Yu, was mentioned in this book. Evelyn Yu, her aunt, has a tea shop in San Francisco's Chinatown, so I think that's why they're kind of related. So I'm hoping that I would love all of these books. So far, this one that I'm currently reading, I do really enjoy it, and I'm just curious on how the story will unfold, because Natalie is basically was estranged from her mom and also from like the community in San Francisco's Chinatown where she grew up in. And her mom just passed away, so she's coming back to kind of put things in order, attending her funeral and all of that. But she was also left a restaurant of her grandma, and she's actually kind of like a chef trying to open a restaurant. That is kind of like her dream, and she's kind of getting that chance to open or reopen, I guess, her grandma's restaurant in San Francisco. So I can't wait to read this book and actually finish it and go through the other 2 books, because all of the premises of these 3 books are really interesting. So make sure you go check it out if you're interested. The next author that I have is Emiko Jean. I think a lot of people say that this book series is really good, And the first book I believe is called Tokyo Ever After, and the second one is Tokyo Dreaming. And this is about Izumi, or Izzy, who found out that she is actually the daughter of the crown prince of Japan, and she just found that out, I guess, whenever this book starts. So like when she's a teenager, I want to say. I think she's a teenager, I'm not sure, I haven't actually read through the whole synopsis, but basically it's kind of like Princess Diaries, but like, you know, you're the crown princess of Japan, which is really interesting. So I cannot wait to read these two books. I feel like this one would have kind of like a lot of drama, because as I'm reading the back of the book, she has conniving cousins and also hungry press to like try to get the dirt out of like her life, a scowling but handsome bodyguard who just might be her soulmate, and thousands of years of tradition and custom to learn practically overnight. So it's kind of like Princess Diaries, but also kind of like What a Girl Wants. So I can't wait to read these two books. Hopefully I would like it. I'm not sure if Emiko has other books other than these two, so if you know, let me know in the comment below. The next author that I have is Sonali Dev. I think that is how you say the author's name. This is actually a 4-book series. This is the first 2 books, and I've already ordered the last 2 books, book 3 and 4, from Book Outlet, but I haven't received them yet. This whole series is about the Raja sisters, I think. This first one is about Dr. Trisha Rajay. This one is about Chef Ashna Rajay. And I think, of course, it's about like their love life, about their Indian American family. And I think the Rajas is actually an immigrant Indian family descended from royalty who have built their lives in San Francisco. I think the titles of these books are kind of like wordplay with Jane Austen's book titles. So this one is called Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors. This one is called Recipe for Persuasion. I forgot the title of the other 2 books, but I think they're in that kind of like wordplay, I guess. Let me know if you have read any books from Sonali Dev. I don't know if she has any other books, but let me know if there are any other recommendations that you have for Sonali Dev's books. So like I mentioned, I have kind of like 4 standalone books, I guess, by Asian authors that I would just share with you. The first one is called When You Wish Upon a Lantern by Gloria Chow. Like I said, when I posted that thread, a lot of people also recommend Gloria Chow's book. And I know this one is YA, maybe even teenager, like it's by Penguin Teen. This is about 2 teenagers who are devoted to granting other people's wishes, but are too afraid to let themselves have their own heart's desires, which is each other. So I can't wait to read this. If you have read this book, let me know what your thoughts are, and also let me know if I should buy any other Gloria Chow's books, because I feel like, again, I'm in my mid-30s. This is for like teenagers. I'm pretty sure, I mean, even right now talking about it, I feel like I'm too old for this book, but because a lot of people kind of recommend this book and they said that they love it, that's why I decided to buy it. But let me know if there are any other Gloria Chow's book that I should pick up. The next one is called Set on You by Amy Leah, and I feel like people also recommend these authors to me, so I decided to pick this book up. I don't remember where I picked this up, but I'm pretty sure it was at Half Price Books when I was in Austin in the beginning of the month. And this is actually one of the books in a 3-book series, I believe. I think it's called the Influencer series. This is the second book, and I'm pretty sure you can read it however order you want. But now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of want to buy the first book first before reading this one. Let me know if you have read any of her other books, and let me know if I should pick up some other books. I know I'm gonna pick up the first one, and I think it's called X's and O's, if I'm not mistaken, but I think there's also a 3rd book from this whole series, so let me know in the comment if you have read them. The next book that I have is Accidentally Engaged by Farah Heron. I don't know how to say the author's last name, but this is the book. I think she has a lot of other books as well. I'm just picking this one up because it sounds interesting. And this is about Rina Manji, who knows exactly what she's doing. She treats her sourdough starters like children. This one is also about how her Indian American family is trying to matchmake her with another potential good Muslim husband. Apparently, they live in the same building, like they live across from each other, and I think they have to kind of fake engage or fake marry each other for something. So anything with fake dating or fake marriage, I would be up for reading that. So I'm hoping that I'm gonna have a good time with this book. And if you have read any of Farah's other books, let me know in the comment below which one I should pick up next. Last but not least, I have a book by a debut author, Cynthia Timothy, and the book is called Salty Spice and a Little Bit Nice, and she is actually a Chinese Indonesian author. I kind of came across her book accidentally somewhere. I feel like either on NetGalley. I think it was on NetGalley. I was just like browsing through random romance books on NetGalley and I came across this one. I requested the galley and I love the book so much, so I decided to pre-order the book from Barnes & Noble when it came out. To be honest with you, usually if I already read the arc or I have it on NetGalley or the publisher send it to me or something like that, I probably wouldn't buy the actual book because I've already read it. But because I love this book so much, I decided to buy it. So if you're into, I don't know if they're enemies to lovers, I guess they are, but this is also brother's best friend, you would probably like this. Especially if you are Chinese Indonesian, you probably would love some of the reference here. I mean, thankfully my parents are not as crazy as Ellie's parents in this book. They literally sabotage like her career, which what make her move out of the city where her family is at and move like halfway across the US. I love it so much, and I guess this is my book recommendation for you. So those are all of the books by Asian authors that I was able to purchase the last few weeks based on a lot of people recommendation on Threads. So again, let me know in the comment below if you have any other Asian American or Asian authors books that you love, because I would love more recommendations. Also, if you have any other recommendations by Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders authors books, also please leave a comment down below. I would really appreciate it.